So Isaiah Hartenstein is leaving the New York Knicks to sign with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Siobhan, this was a big signing for the Thunder. So how do you see Hartenstein fitting into the Oklahoma City Thunder team and how he'll help them moving forward?
I think this was a big signing because the one thing me and you both talked about in all of our Oklahoma City discussions was size. Just size and depth at the big man spot. Hardenstein can definitely start for some teams in the league. I think it could work with him and Chet out there together at the same time, different lineups you can do and things of that nature. I think he could come off the bench as well. We saw how he backed up Mitchell Robinson and took that starting spot once Mitchell Robinson went down and how well he did. But I just think overall this addresses one of your needs was big man depth. Just because Chet is a frail guy, he's very skilled. He can compete. He did great in the playoffs last year for it to be his first time actually being able to be on the court and play. But I do think that they needed a little bit more enforcement on that end. We know Hartenstein's going to bring the motor. We know he's going to bring the effort, the rebounding, the toughness, and just think about how he kept playing when he was dealing with his own injury on a very bruised up Knicks team last year. So I think he brings a lot of physical gifts, a lot of hustle, some veteranship, a lot of intangibles as well that he can provide for this young Oklahoma City Thunder team. I would love to see the Thunder get like one of the more top tier starting level bigs, but I mean, at this point in free agency, there's none of them out there right now. Like I said, Hartenstein can start for a team. I would think of somebody like a Laurie Markkinen would be an ideal thing to see him paired with Chet Holmgren, but I think that's just difficult to do with the CBA. We're going to talk about that a lot, just with how teams have to structure their rosters. But I do think this is a very big get for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Once again, I don't know if they're going to start him, bring him off the bench, but I think that you can just play them together. I don't think that matters at the end of the day. I just think you needed to address the needs that you were lacking yet, and just having the depth was simply one of them. And I think that's what Hartenstein's going to do. He's going to bring a different level of intensity that they don't necessarily have at that spot, or at least not one of size. You think about the other Jalen Williams, he provides a lot of good things, but he just doesn't have that same size. They've had some stretch bigs and things of that nature, but I feel like they haven't had a big like Hartenstein. I think this is a great signing, and I think that this puts them a little bit more into contention just because I think they'll be able to compete in the things that you need to compete in when it comes to playoff basketball, just the physicality, the toughness, the effort. I feel like Hartenstein brings all of that and then some offensive tools as well. Being able to finish plays, be strong in the paint, and just be a presence. If the guards need to bail out and get it to somebody, he can do so and get things moving on the offensive end. So I really do like this signing.
Yeah, I think this was a big signing for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I do believe that he is a starting level center in this league. I mean, when you look at what he did with the New York Knicks, yes, he does provide rebounding. Yes, he does provide hustle, and he is a big body that Oklahoma City needed. Those are definitely needs that they had, but I also believe that Hardenstein is going to fit right into their offense. Hardenstein was a great short roll big. He's a really good playmaker, passing the ball, understanding what to do in different situations. He has a high basketball IQ, and you can run a lot of dribble handoffs with him. You can run a lot of pick and roll with them, allowing Chet to space the floor or do different things high low with Chet and Hardenstein. So I believe that Hardenstein is going to be a really good fit for this team. You can start him with Chet. I think that that's going to be a very viable option with this roster. And you can bring him off the bench if you want to. I think that Hardenstein is going to fit very well here. And I believe that he's going to bring a lot of value to this team defensively and offensively. I think the toughness part is definitely what they needed. Rebounding is definitely what the Oklahoma City Thunder needed. So I think that this is a great all around signing and all around pickup for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, when you look at just the contract they signed him to for 3 years, it's not like a big 5 year contract, but just thinking about his age, he's only 26 years old. So if they get to the end of that contract and they feel like he's worth keeping, you can keep him with this group, or you can move off of him and trade him for some more valuable things because at that point he'll be only 28 or something like that, where he still has some mileage left on his game. So you just have options. You can either continue to run with it if this fit works well, or you can get some value from him if you have the opportunity to do so. But yeah, just a good basketball fit. And that's the thing you're looking for in free agency. You're trying to close those as many gaps as you can, strengthen your weaknesses, and become more viable in playoff settings. And like I said, physicality, hustle, being able to be strong when finishing plays, having experience, being able to be smart. You mentioned him being able to play in a 5-out setting before. That's something that's very prevalent in the NBA, and also being able to operate in that offense with the ball, dribble handoffs, making plays, making reads off the short roll, and things like that is very vital that your big can make those plays. And by producing all of that, it's just going to make the offense flow a little easier, where sometimes it struggled in the playoffs when things were not falling from the 3-point range for the Thunder. You get another big that can take advantage of the inside, get a lot more easier things, force the defense to rotate, react to your big rolling, who's an actual threat when Chet's not in there. Just a lot of things, and they can play off each other as well. So I think this is a very big upgrade. And this is how you have to build your team, is just add in those pieces and make very smart moves. And that's what the Hartenstein transaction is for the Thunder.
Yeah, and you mentioned playing 5 out. That is really what the Oklahoma City Thunder like to do. They like to play a lot of 5 out. They like to space the floor. And I think Hardenstein, even though he's not known as a shooter, he's not known as a stretch big in the 5 out system. You don't necessarily have to be a stretch big to be effective in a 5 out setting. He does a lot of things in terms of the short roll, passing, dribble handoffs, finishing in the paint with flip shots, and finishing around the basket. So, 5 out isn't necessarily everyone has to shoot. There's a lot of actions and a lot of horn sets and things like that that you can get into. And there's a lot of skill sets that bigs have to have in terms of being that connecting piece that makes the 5 out system work. And that is being able to make reads, being able to make the right passes, being able to set screens and get into dribble handoffs, being able to handle the ball in tight spaces, things like
Kind of
that,
like a
that
Draymond.
Hardenstein, yeah, kind of like Draymond. And he's not at that level necessarily, but he does a lot of those things very well, to pair with his ability to rebound the basketball and play defense, and his toughness and all of that stuff that the Thunder need. Now you add that piece also to the offensive end. I think is going to be a really good fit. And now the Oklahoma City Thunder aren't as small in terms of their lineup now. Now they can play against a lot more bigger lineups that you will see in the Western Conference. So I think that it's a really good pickup for them, and we'll see how things go. But I believe that this is a really good fit.